Okay guys, hi! So this is going to be a hopefully quick tutorial about getting an asset from Substance Painter into Houdini and rendering it with Renderman. And I'm not going to cover a lot of other stuff in here like UVs, topology, high-low poly, actual shading, stuff like that. But this hopefully should give you a good start on understanding Renderman in Houdini and also some of the issues and the pitfalls that can happen and how you can avoid those and fix those. And some of the stuff will probably be a little bit different in Houdini 19, maybe some differently named nodes or things, and there's a lot of changes in Renderman 24, but hopefully a lot of this will still be helpful, and let me know if you have more questions after you watch this. So we're starting with this model in Substance here. This is from our 3 shots for unfamiliar, so pretty preset materials, nothing fancy, but something. So this is assuming you've done everything, you're all done shading and you're ready to go. So you're going to want to export textures just like you normally would, but something to pay attention to here is your output template, because different renderers need your texture maps optimized in different ways. They're kind of just expecting like a different color space, or like Renderman, for example, handles metallic materials quite a bit differently than what you're probably used to with Arnold, for reasons that I will not go into right now. But basically you need to make sure that your output template is not like this default Amazon Lumberyard thing. You actually want, so Renderman, Pixar Surface, don't use Pixar Disney, that's like deprecated. And then I've actually made for myself this unfamiliar export preset, which you can do. You can create a copy here and then rename it to whatever you want. But that's just working off this basic Renderman Pixar Surface one. And really the biggest thing I changed is right here. You can see these determine what the name of the map is going to be. And the default convention is whatever the name of the mesh is, and then whatever the name of the texture set, that's over here, is, and then these diffuse color, spec face color, da 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 da. And you don't want to change these ending tags that tell you what type of map it is, especially because if you're using, I'm going to give you guys a script I've made and it relies on these, but these you can change however you want. And in my preset here, I completely got rid of the mesh name and just said name the map whatever the texture set name is, just because it makes it a little bit less confusing, not so many words. Yeah, so back over here, this is something to note, is just clicking your preset in here won't change it in here. I already have mine set to unfamiliar, but it'll probably be set to like the Amazon Lumberyard one or something like that, so just make sure to change that before you do anything. Your file type, I usually do 16-bit PNG, but you guys will just want to pick something for your production and make sure everyone sticks to it. The rest of these, the default settings, should be fine for right now. I guess, yeah, oh, the other thing, so where you're going to save it. There's kind of 2 different methods that you can choose between. There's the more department-based, I guess, setup, which is kind of like this type of file organization where you're like, okay, here's the meshes, like modeling department, here's the map, shading department, and I just have my painter files in here too, and save things into there. Or there's the other way, which is typically used more in games, but I think, personally, I like this one better, and I think for getting used to like a USD workflow, this is maybe also better, is by asset. So like I have here my fireplace folder. If this was like actual production, there'd be tons of other assets here, maybe like organized in some way by prop cluster or something. And then inside of the fireplace folder, I have the actual mesh, the maps, probably would save the painter file in here too. So we're actually gonna save that in here, inside the maps folder. So I'll copy that file path. And right now this is set to check it in the groups folder, which is where we were pulling for our test renders. So I'm gonna save it here, select this folder, and okay, updated, and then export. There we go. So we got our maps exported. I'm gonna open the output directory just so you can kind of see. Oh, it's over here. So here's our fireplace maps, and it is now filled up with all of these lovely texture maps as 16-bit PNGs. So I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover for getting stuff out of Painter. Just really important to make sure you use the correct preset and that you're being consistent about your saving location and your naming conventions. So I think I will flip over into Linux now to show you some Houdini stuff, and that will stop this recording. So see you in a second.